Oh mama, the dust has settled. Chaos. You won't believe. Tune in. UFC 269. The review. I don't know how we're gonna do this. I don't know how we're gonna get through it, but it was incredible. First fight of the night, we have Andre Muniz, Eric Anders, middleweight. We have Muniz coming off of a win from Jakar Souza. We have Eric Anders, solid guy, journeyman. Every time he's come out, he's always performed well, win or lose. They're filling each other out. You can clearly see Eric is a thicker dude, Muniz lengthier. Immediately, a couple of strikes are thrown. These boys are not playing, they're trying to get to the top. You have Andre at one point gets him, puts him up against the cage, brings him down, as he did in that previous fight with Jakar, rolls him up, goes for that armbar. Here we have it. Win, submission, armbar. This man's coming up, making a name for himself, coming from the Dana White Contender Series. Bright future ahead of him. And on to our next fight. We got Dominic Cruz, Pedro Munoz. Incredible. Loved it. First round, back and forth. Dominic using that range. Pedro catching him. The man was in danger. All of a sudden, they're sprawling. Dominic brings him down, holding on to the man, trying to shake it off. They get back up, back at it. The boys don't skip a beat. Incredible round. And round two, more of the same. Nothing but fireworks. But it becomes more, the entire round becomes more of a stand-up clinic. Dominic Cruz using his reach, his length, keeping that distance. Pedro catching him in between, here and there. At one point, Pedro does go for a takedown attempt. Dominic stops it. But the whole fight, the whole round, it's stand-up. Round three, more or less, as the same as 1 and 2. It's a stand-up game, striking all night. Incredible wrestler, an incredible jiu-jitsu guy in Pedro Munoz. So it is what it is. So it was still exciting. Again, it's Dominic Cruz using his reach, his length, keeping that distance, catching him. Pedro still getting his punches in here and there where he could. The fight is over. Unanimous decision. Goes to Dominic Cruz for the win. Now for the first fight of the main card, we have Sean O'Malley versus Raulian Paiva. My apologies, brother, for butchering. Here we go. Two gentlemen, tall. This kid is coming up, Paiva, just as tall as he is, just as lengthy. He has a good stand-up game, some great jiu-jitsu. Sean, you already know what this guy is. Very colorful, very animated. He picks his shots. So they're starting out, feeling each other out. Some shots are being thrown. Realistically, from Paiva, for the most part of for the better half of the first round. Sean isn't really doing much. He's catching him here and there with a bit of a jab. Right at the end, Sean does what he always does in his previous fights. He catches him. He swarms on him. Fight's over. Sean wins via TKO. For the next fight, flyweight division, Kai Kara-France versus Cody Garbrandt. It's been happening just like the previous fights for Cody Garbrandt. Comes in, he looks good, he moves around well, he gets caught, he gets put on his ass, he gets up, he survives. Kai Kara comes back, pounces on him once again. And here we go, via TKO, Kai Kara-France. We have Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Jeff Neal for the next fight. Okay, Jeff is a winner off the Dana White's Contender Series. Santiago, seasoned vet, exciting to watch. This fight was difficult though. We had that first round, just very frustrating. We had the referee coming at both of the fighters. Stop throwing your hands out with your fingers sticking out. And then there was a low blow. And Ponzinibbio, you know, he's a little wild with his throw, you know, the way he throws his shots. And Jeff is a counter striker, so it's truly a feel-out process for the both of them. Second round, nothing happened, more or less of the first. Except Ponzinibbio, the highlight was he ends up taking Jeff down. That was pretty impressive. Put him down, but they get back up immediately. Here comes the third round. Third round was exciting. Back and forth. Santiago trying to steal that round to steal the fight. Jeff doing the same thing. He's at the last couple of minutes ends up pulling it off. And split decision goes to Jeff Neal. Main event, Juliana Pena, Amanda Nunes for the Women's Bantamweight Championship. Okay, first, right off the bat, round one. Amanda's looking like a bully, like she always does. And kind of jabbing her, knocking her down immediately. She went for a calf kick. Juliana went down. Later on in the fight, Amanda threw a jab. You clearly saw kind of a big sister teaching the youngin how it's done. But Juliana survived the round. At the end, you see that she actually almost had what looked like a Kimura. But Amanda survived it, no problem. Okay, here we go, round two. Oh my goodness. This is where you see what's really going on. And that's Juliana Pena building that confidence, using her height, her reach, her durability. She started out striking Amanda. Amanda just did not look like herself, kind of just throwing punches and nothing was landing, there was nothing, no force, no strategy with it. Juliana then has Amanda up by the cage, drags her down. He goes for that rear naked choke, and it's over. Amanda taps. Here we go. Bantamweight champion, women's champion, Juliana Pena. Crazy to believe. And now for the main event, Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier. The fight is on. Round one. Here we go for the 155-pound lightweight champ. Fight starts. These boys, they're not messing around. Second one, they're going back and forth. Dustin's getting the upper hand. Charles is getting the upper hand. There was a couple of takedown attempts, Charles. But, oh my goodness, by the end of the first, we have Dustin closing in. Bam, bashing him. Putting him down. He pounces on him. Charles survives it. Stands back up. These boys are going back and forth. Rounds ends. Oh my goodness. The type of pace that these boys are keeping up is incredible. Interesting round two. Charles Oliveira runs towards Dustin. Dustin back and forth them for just a moment. Charles has him up against the cage. Brings Dustin down. There was a bit of a scramble. A bit of a roll from Dustin. Now Charles is on top. Dustin's holding on. Charles is just raining down elbows, throwing whatever punches he can land. The entire fight, both gentlemen are down on the ground. Dustin's holding 5 long minutes. Round 3, here we go. Once again, Charles running towards Dustin, putting him up against the cage. Dustin exposes his back just a little bit, and that's all it took. Charles pounces on him, doesn't let him breathe. Rear naked choke. Dustin's trying to fight it off all his best. At least 10-15 seconds. He's muscling it out, surviving it. But it was too late. Charles snuck his arms around that neck. The fight was over. We have still the champ, Charles, lightweight king, 155-pound champ. Oh my goodness. After that first incredible run, that second was surprising. That third, the way it ended, lost for words. Oh boy. The night came to a close. Now here we go for closing thoughts and what happens hereafter. First things first, I just want to touch a little bit on Dominic Cruz. Where does he go from here? I think he's incredible. I think he's an absolute legend. It's just at the moment he's in purgatory. Unless he fights for the number one before the championship title, I don't know what else he should do. For Sean O'Malley, this man, he's incredible. He's truly a gifted fella, but he's been looking really good against people that aren't really even ranked that high. The last time he had some opposition in the form of Vera, that was not a good showing. He was flip-flopping all over the place, and he got beat up a little bit, a lot of it, knocked out cold, unfortunately. So let's see what's that next opponent. It needs to be somebody high-leveled. We can't settle for less anymore. They've been kid gloves with this guy, and he's talking a big game. So let's see what happens. Amanda Nunes, I want to touch on her. She lost. The queen has been dethroned. I don't know what is she had 12 consecutive wins, defending the titles, 2 weight division champ. On that first round, she was good, but that second, she just tapped too soon. There was just too many things, and like, I can't blame her. What else do? You did everything. You did everything. The first woman to obliterate every single previous champ, except Gina Carano, but that woman retired years ago. 2-weight division champ. Nobody beat her. So she had an off night. She probably didn't care. It is what it is. She could beat her, spank her the next time. It really doesn't matter. She's done it all at this point. If she wants to retire, that's great. I don't think she should. She should go out on a win, in my opinion. But motherhood and, with her partner, and I'm looking forward to seeing her again. Charles Oliveira, Dustin is next in line, and Justin Gaethje is next in line. That's exciting. That's going to be fireworks. Justin could pull it off. He could take a beating too. So let's see what happens with that, how the fight goes down. Oh boy, I don't see it going past a couple rounds. It's one or the other that's going to take it. It's no way that it's going to hit that fifth round. Absolutely not. Now it's up to Dustin. I'm glad he lost. This man, he's the king of returns, king of comebacks. I think if he would have won, he was talking about retiring and maybe touching the 170 weight category, the welterweight division, a little bit. After every time he loses, this man comes back fired up. I can't wait to see who's coming back. It's going to be insane. I didn't want to see him retire, not yet. He's still at his prime. He's what, 31, 32? He's right there. To hang it up now, I get it. You beat the greats. But he's going to be sticking around for a little bit longer. A little bit longer. We need you. Come on. Without him, it's still exciting. It's still a jam-packed lightweight division. Don't get me wrong. People could go up and down in weight, but I still want Dustin. Man, he's incredible. He's earned it. He deserves it. And this one, here's where I need you guys to help me out. Comment below. What do you think? We have the fifth loss for Cody Garbrandt. He got a win a few fights ago. I believe it was against a Sun Tzu. That overhand right that caught that guy. But ever since then, man, he just has not been looking good. He's been just getting obliterated. That chin, he's never really had one. Ever since like he beat Dominic, he just left his chin right out there and just was rolling the dice. So what do you guys think? Should he stick around? Should he retire? I don't think he should retire. He's still a young man. Still in his really his prime years. He's 31. Maybe he goes to another corporation, another promotion, and see what happens there. Get a couple wins off a couple of nobodies. But he needs... I just don't know what to do with this guy. But it's time. Performance bonuses. It was the fight of the night. Honors goes to Dominic Cruz and Moniz. It was a great back and forth. It was a lot of fun, actually. What a comeback by Dominic. But other performances, bonuses that they gave out, nothing specific here, just in general. Oliveira, most likely for submission. There was Julia Pena. There was Tai Tuivasa with that crazy knockout over Sakai. It just came out of nowhere. Hey, heavyweights, it's expected. Those little gloves, 4 ounces. There was also Sean O'Malley for that knockout. Kai Kara France for the Cody Garbrandt knockout. Then we have Bruno. But once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. It was an honor. It was a pleasure. Just to give you a little heads up, you know what's around the corner. It's going to be nothing but jam-packed action. This week we got Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley again. I would have loved to have seen Tommy Fury put a whipping on him, because you know it was going to happen. But there could be an upset with this one. I love the action. I love this madness. I'm going to be releasing actually content right out of Japan. ONE FC, Risen. So tune in. Expect fireworks. I appreciate you for stopping by. The Fighting Epicenter, Peak Mastery. See ya.